Yes, we did go see the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. So let's talk about it. Let's go on air. Hey, everybody, this is Tom with Tom's Talk Show. And we did go, we decided our destiny last Saturday was to go see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. We've seen all the other, Indiana Jones movies over the years, and why skip out on this one? We went to an earlier show, had a couple of movie credits, so we really, we paid the bottom dollar price to go and see it. And if we check over here, of course, everybody wants to run over to Rotten Tomatoes to see how well it's going. The critics here are at 68, with top critics it's 58, so it's right on the edge of the splat meter. Verified audience is at 88, so that's I would say pretty decent. All audiences is at 81, so I mean it was kind of predictable, so I might give it a 75, but 80 is definitely doable for me, if they made some minor changes in the cast. But yeah, so I'd like seeing, Karen Allen in there, John Rhys Davies, all of the, some actors that had returned, back. This Phoebe Waller-Bridge, her character's pretty much just throwaway. She's only there just to, spout, meaningless words that that don't really help anything along. So, but we'll in a minute we'll get into spoiling things. But I mean it had a good flow. It didn't there wasn't really a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, can this be over now? It had a good flow, kept going, was able to, keep my attention, to the film. I think the only one big thing was there's a lot of killing of people in the film. Don't walk around the corner. Why? Because you're going to get killed. That's just, what's going to happen. Right. But, so it was, like I said, it's a 75 or 80, for me, and it seems to be that way for most people. They're enjoying the film. Now, a lot of people have gone around and said, oh, look, posting their theater, attendance, seeing how many people were in the theater. Our theater was fairly full, and most of the shows from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday were all quite full. I mean, you weren't filling the front rows, but there was a lot of people going to see the film. So I don't know where these people are viewing the movie, but where we were, it was a good audience. But now I'm gonna flip on the spoiler little banner here, so that we're gonna talk about some kind of spoilers in the plot and things like that. So we'll just continue on with that. So make sure, if you don't want to be spoiled by it, then just cancel out of the video now. But if you're okay with it, don't want to talk about it, then let's just continue on. Okay, so the movie starts. We've got these two, the Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Harrison Ford. Her character, they're looking for the Dial of Destiny, of course, which is the great MacGuffin in the entire film, and searching for that in different areas, of the world. They did a couple of little dotted map things, when they were traveling. I'd kind of expected maybe there to do more, but there weren't really that many movement sequences in the film. There were a few, and they did the little, dotted line map where they were traveling and stuff around. But so her character is annoying from the get-go. I mean, we've all seen the trailer that says, you stole this from him and I stole it from him. It's capitalism. Well, that's not capitalism. Capitalism would have been if You bought it from him and then sold it to me at a higher price, and then I'm going to sell it to somebody else at a higher price. You build value along the way, and then, maybe somebody cleaned it up and made it nicer, and, did some research on what it was and included that documentation with it when they were selling it again to improve the value of something. That's capitalism, right? That's you take something, you add more value, and then you sell it for a higher. You buy something, add value, sell it for a higher price, right? That's actual capitalism kind of thing in this case. So they have half of the Dial of Destiny, and they're trying to look for the other half. And she continues to just spout that Indiana Jones is washed up. He's nothing. I'm just here just to make money. And, okay. So we have Mads Mikkelsen, who's he's actually one of the, German bad guys. And he's trying to get the Dial of Destiny because he thinks it's going to take him back to Germany, where he's going to be able to change the events of the war, and then Germany would actually win the war. So, and then this woman, this Shantae Renee Wilson person, whatever her character is, she was probably just as annoying. I mean, I don't know if they cast these people just, okay, get on screen, be annoying, right? I mean, that's bad. Really, I would hope that you could put female characters onto a screen and not have them just be grating. Just like, oh my gosh, you're making the movie not be fun. You're making it not happen for me. Kind of thing. This is the scene where she's selling her part of the Dial of Destiny, and all these people are bidding on it because she's not there for any archaeological reason. She's just there, to make money, and that's her kind of thing throughout the film, until the end, of course, when she has to save the day. They go to a bunch of caves. They do a bunch of different things in the movie. And all that adventure stuff. They have to go out in the ocean and dive down to the bottom of the ocean area and find, a box with something in it that leads them to, with the tablet thing that leads to them to somewhere else. So there's like mini MacGuffins along the way, that are leading them to the final MacGuffin, which is the other half of the Dial of Destiny. And once we get the Dial of Destiny, and the other thing is, all throughout the movie, the thugs that the Mads Mikkelsen's character has, the thugs that are with him, they just kill everybody. Anybody that's, just kill them. Oh, look, what, you turned right instead of left, I'll kill you. Stuff like that. Just, it doesn't matter. They just, I guess the thinking, of course, I would think, is that it doesn't matter if they killed all these people, because the ultimate goal is to get the Dial of Destiny and go back to, the World War II and be able to change the course of history, so that the Germans could, ultimately win the war and take over the world. So that's, kind of their plan there. So, I don't know if we're getting any more other. I think most of those are going to be premiere photos. So we have Helena, who's the Phoebe Waller-Bridge character. So the beginning, this Basil Shaw, they're on a train and they're getting the one half of the Dial of Destiny and dealing with. They de-aged Harrison Ford really nicely. I really thought it went well at the beginning of the movie when they were shooting scenes that were kind of World War II era. And that looked very natural. It's much better than, the Star Wars movie with Grand Moff Tarkin and stuff. There's much better effect. It actually looked believable. It actually looked like, of course, they had Harrison Ford sitting there, speaking with the, all of his mouth movements and facial inflections and stuff. But, it actually looked, they've improved that quite a bit, which should probably scare some actors. Because then, maybe if you cost too much, maybe they'll just say, we'll put in somebody that looks like them and we'll just make their face be whatever they want. So they find it, and Indiana Jones takes it and stores it away until Helena comes looking for it and wanting it because she wants to sell it, make some money. They do a bunch of different things. They have to go out onto a boat and do some deep sea diving, where Antonio Banderas plays this Ronaldo guy who helps. He owns the boat, and they go down diving. And then once they get back up, of course, the boat, all of the crew, and Ronaldo all are killed. And then there's this Mason person, this government agent, who basically is, who knows which side she's on, but her character's annoying. The way she acts it is annoying, which I said is sad, which I don't like that, put in, I don't, anyway. So she's killed as well. Then we have Teddy, who's the kid. I think they were trying to kind of duplicate, the short round from the second movie. So Helena's short round was this Teddy person who just kind of did, stuff, trying to drive a car, trying to fly a plane, doing all these other things, and stuff. So then Dr. Voller is Mads Mikkelsen. He does very good in the role. I think he's believable, because he has his agenda, right? He's directly on, I need this thing, I need to be able to get it, and then he get it and put it together, the Dial of Destiny, and be able to put that together and go back, do the whole save Germany thing. So if you see down here, there's this Nasser Memrazia who plays Archimedes. So the ultimate thing that happens in the movie, so they finally get the MacGuffin, they put the whole Dial of Destiny together, and that opens a rift in time, and then they have to fly through the rift in time, which they think is taking them back, according to their calculations, to Germany. But it's actually taking them back to Archimedes. He set the Dial of Destiny out so that whoever found it in the future would be able to bring technology to him so that he could, win the war that they were fighting against Romans and all that. So that was what Archimedes created the Dial of Destiny for. So the only place that you can go back to is to go see Archimedes. There's no other place in time. So they all kind of get twisted around in the end, that they think they're going to be able to go back and change time, but really it only goes back to Archimedes. And they could have changed time if they stayed, but Dr. Voller doesn't really care about Archimedes' time frame. He cares about his German time frame, so he doesn't really care. The planes crash and all that, and Teddy flies a little prop job through the vortex and then lands so that he can pick up Helena and Indiana Jones, who Indiana Jones at the end of the movie wants to stay. He's not going to leave. He's, going to stay with Archimedes and just be there because he thinks his life is over. And of course, Helena doesn't want him to do that. So in one punch, Cole cocks him and knocks him out. Okay, not believable at all, but we'll, suspend our disbelief, for the movie. Because then he goes back and he's in his apartment in his present day, which I think was in the 60s, and is there. And then Marion shows up. At the beginning of the movie, Marion is gone because they killed off their son in off-screen part of the movie beforehand. And so Marion is upset and they split apart. They had gotten married and they split apart. And at the end of the movie, Karen Allen, Marion, comes back, and it's like, Indiana Jones is like, what are you doing here? She's like, I'm back. I heard you were back, so I'm back. So they get together. It's very, very romantic, heart-touching, everything. That was like the end of the movie, like the end of the Indiana Jones, saga, right? Meets Marion in the first one, has, this whole thing go on through the first movie, and now finally at the last movie they're back together again. They're in love again, all those things at the end of the film. And then Helena, the Phoebe Waller-Bridge character, she just walks off. She does not get the hat. She doesn't take the hat. I think possibly in Test shootings, it didn't go very well. So that's been changed, or it never actually was. But Harrison Ford still has the hat, and they haven't really handed off anything. Now, in the future, they may do that, but I don't think this movie is going to make that much money. But I mean, Disney doesn't really seem to care about throwing money into these projects that ultimately lose money. But so that it's a fairly good flow of film. We get to the end and we get this Marion Indiana Jones reuniting at the end of the film, which really made it like, okay, that was kind of worth. I'll go through the other stuff just to get to that because it was spot on. That part was just spot on right at the end there. So, and Helena just walks across the street and is gone. And then they fade back towards the window of the apartment, and Indy's hat is hanging outside because it was probably soaking wet. So he just reaches out and grabs it. And that's it. And then off go the credits. So overall, I'm thinking 75-80%. I mean, I agree with everybody else in, the viewers of, in Rotten Tomatoes. We're at 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb. That can sometimes get like ratioed a little bit. Most people are putting in a 7. If I look at the highest bar here, most people are putting in a 7 and an 8. So that's, I mean, these people down here are probably review bombing, and these people up here, you figure you're review bombing as well. But yeah, I mean, if you got time and you want to pick a movie to go see and it's there, I really don't think you would be disappointed. I mean, you have to know that there's a couple of female characters that are in the movie that are going to annoy the heck out of you. But once you get past that, it really does work. So there we go. All right. Well, thanks for watching. And if you agree with me or you have some points that you want to disagree with me on, go ahead and write those comments down below. I will respond. This channel is not big enough yet to really make it so I can't, right? So that's good. And thanks for watching. Take care.